So good morning, all the participants. So in the month of October, every year we organize this cyber security awareness program. And in this month, this is the first cyber security awareness webinar that we are conducting. And in today's program, we are going to explore the impact of AI on the internet world and how AI is changing the cyber threat landscape. We know that the attacking patterns of the hackers have changed a lot from previous, and with the use of artificial intelligence, it is very easy actually to exploit the vulnerabilities of the websites and softwares. Again, the same AI can act as a boon for ourselves too. With the use of AI, we can detect such threats and keep ourselves safe. In today's webinar, we have our director, Sir Sri Umesh Kumar Rustagi, and our invited speaker, Ms. Rathna K, Senior Product Manager of K7 Security. We thank Umesh sir for guiding and motivating us in organizing this webinar. We also thank our invited guest speaker, Ms. Rathna K, for attending this webinar as a guest speaker to inform the participants regarding the impact of AI on the online platforms. We request Director Sir to kindly brief about this webinar and to introduce the invited guest speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumit, and the team, and all my colleagues from Nehru Science Center, as well as from other centers, and our audience. I think after a long time, we are online for this seminar. There's a very, very important topic, considering that nowadays everything is online, and we are very much tuned to use online accounts, online payments, most of the things. We hardly carry cash. Now it's plastic money. But simultaneously, this comes with a lot of responsibility and awareness. We should all be very, very careful. Perhaps each one of us, they are getting every day some or other kind of videos where people are trying to do some sort of fraud by using our maybe some weakness, you can say, or lack of awareness. So one thing is very much sure, that how we can make ourselves protected against such cyber frauds or hackers. Every time there are so many ways. In fact, they keep themselves much ahead than what we are doing in normal days. So we have to be ahead of them so that we can be safe. Our money is safe. I've come across several such cases where there are various type of fraud. Fraud means they can ask you to come someplace. They can ask you to share your numbers, OTP. I myself have gone through such process, but perhaps at the last moment, some lack of awareness rather, I could save myself. Otherwise, they do lot many things. They will entice you. They will trap you. And somehow we fall, because I remember there's a very small story. There is one famous RJ Naveed, I think. So he created such a story and called one of the parents that your son is has met an accident, and this is the number, and this is the telephone and everything. So you must have got some. I have to admit him in the hospital. You have to go. You have got some sort of number. Please share that number. And at that situation, we cannot think of anything else. If somebody calls me and says, your son is about to admit in a hospital and he is very serious. So you will not think for any other things, and you'll immediately share. So at such situations, such emotional situations which are being created, and they try to trap, we all have to be careful about that. Maybe by sharing some SOS numbers or some mechanism. That's what perhaps we learn through these experienced people who are working in this field. And this becomes even more specific and very, very important, specifically in both the topics, which is part of our talk also, in the era of AI, artificial intelligence, and 24 hours online platforms. We are there. Mobiles are always now online. Internet is 24 hours available. So you have to be very, very careful. I think we'll learn more about directly from the experts. With this, once again, welcoming you all to this very special cyber security awareness week, which we have been celebrating now. Uh, Let us learn more from the experts. With this, I will request Sumit, my colleague, to take it further and introduce the speaker briefly, and then for the lectures. Sumit, over to you. Thank you.
एक बार टेस्ट करो. Hello. Is it audible in the live streaming?
Rathna ma'am is there?
Yes, I am here.
Oh,
Yeah.
we are audible, no? Hello.
You can hear what
Yes,
Sumit is
yes,
saying?
I can hear all of you.
Okay.
I thought you were asking the audience if you were audible. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes, you are audible.
Sumit, yeah, that's also for us. We need to learn you how to address whom you are addressing so that people can because we are online. We don't know whom. Okay.
So
Yeah.
thanks to our director, sir, Shri Umesh Kumar Rustagi, for guiding us and giving me this opportunity to conduct this webinar and introduce the speaker. So we have with us a very renowned profile from K7 Security Solutions, Ms. Rathna K. She is the senior product manager from the K7 Security Chennai, and she has more than 20 years of professional experience in the cybersecurity domain in various capacities, and she has extensive experience at both the K7 Computing and the Symantec. And at K7, currently she is responsible for all aspects of cybersecurity products, right from the conception to the customer reach. She has delivered talks and presentations to a variety of audiences, ranging from academia to business leaders to the attendees at the seminars organized by the government bodies. In her spare time, she actively volunteers two non-profit organizations, Teach for India and Code to Enhance Learning, that strive to make an impact on primary and secondary education in India. She loves reading classic literature and dabbles in photography and gardening. We are lucky to have her as our invited guest speaker, and we thank her from the bottom of our heart, and we kindly request her to inspire us in taking these programs in future and to guide us regarding how we can protect ourselves from such cyber threats and how this current changing attacks in the AI based platforms can be studied by us, and we can use AI as a boon for ourselves too, so that we can protect from such cyber threats. So thanks a lot, madam. Please kindly continue your presentation.
Thank you very much, and very good morning to all of you from Chennai. We are actually in the middle of a cyclone that hasn't yet made landfall. So kindly excuse if there may be some very small interruptions now and then. So I'm very, very happy to be speaking at the Nehru Science Center, although it is virtual. Very glad because I have always been a fan of museums, science centers, and all of that. In fact, we also have one here in Chennai. So I have very fond memories of learning a lot of things from these science centers. So particularly happy that I was able to make it today. So the weather was really bad yesterday. So we almost had no hope of joining today because we had been given a red alert today, but I think the weather gods have smiled upon us. So happy to make it here. So the topic that that has been chosen here is quite interesting. So era of AI, artificial intelligence. So wherever you go these days, you will find these buzzwords: AI and ML, machine learning and artificial intelligence. And as the director Shri Umesh pointed out, there's these are all tools that can be wielded by the good people as also the bad people. So when the good people make use of AI and ML, they improve things. They improve your lifestyle. They create solutions. They create products. They create stuff that will make your life better. But the same tool in the wrong hands obviously can create a lot of loss, chaos, confusion, and all of these things can be done. So we'll just start with some recent news. So you might have seen this or heard about these. You keep hearing about all of these scams that are happening every day. So deep fake. So what is this deep fake? Is, it is made using AI. So either it's a voice deep fake or a video deep fake, where you just sound and look like the intended. For example, you want to create a voice message from the CEO of a company. So these are all very common happenings these days, especially not so much in India, but definitely in the Western world, where a lot of deepfakes are being used to deceive customers and companies even. So there have been instances where deepfake videos of, let's say, a CEO asking his accounts department to release funds to a certain account. So all you have to do is just send a voice message, send an email with instructions to transfer money to their account, and the accounts department thinks that the email or the message or the voice message or the video is from the CEO or CFO or whatever it is, and they do the needful. So here again, like Shri Umesh said, as in everything, whether in science or maths or anything, the basic laws of cybersecurity are always there. So you always have to keep that in mind, and of course, a lot of awareness has to be there. So the people need to know that there are so many different types of scams that are going on, and awareness itself, solves a lot of problems. In a sense, it will at least, give you that element of doubt, that hesitation, that you should not go into the next level. So that itself is something that is important. That is something that is probably lacking in the general public. A lot of people don't know such things are happening, but if there is awareness, probably they'll be a little more careful with what they are doing and what they are saying online. So yeah, that is deep fake. And then of course you have these images that are generated with AI, and you can even spoof stock market this thing. So you can actually change a little bit of the graph, and then you can create panic and things like that. So these are all small things that can be done using AI. These are all easy things now, because as you know, AI has made life easier. All you have to do is go to ChatGPT and try and generate an image, and voila, you have the image for you. So so the if the bad guys are going to use this technology, it's going to make their life easier. So earlier they had to put in a lot of effort into creating stuff to deceive people, but these days, using this technology, you create once and then reuse many times, and as we are going to see. So what are these cyber threats, and what are the forms in which they take before they reach the intended targets? It can be phishing attacks. So what is phishing? Basically, okay, you might have seen this in all your banking websites. So any bank website that you go to, HDFC, Axis, ICICI, any bank you go to, there you'll have a thing. You have a warning about phishing attacks. And you'll also be given a virtual keyboard to type your password in. So all of these are security tactics used by these banks to protect their customers. So what do you mean by phishing? So you create a website that looks very, very similar to HDFC website, except there will be some very small changes, including the URL, which normal customers, if you're not paying attention, you may not be able to spot it. And then you craft a really official looking email and say that HDFC Bank is in the process of updating their accounts. Click on this link and update your username and password. You get a mail like that. Of course, the email has to sound better. If you get an email like that and you click on that link in the email, it will take you to the fake HDFC website instead of the original HDFC website. So again, here the awareness, the common things, or the fundamental facts of cybersecurity, what you need to do is you should not click on links on emails. If you go to HDFC Bank, all you have to do is open the browser and type www.hdfcbank.com. Okay. That is the way that you need to go. Never click on links in emails, even if it looks official from HDFC, ICSA, your banks, or even e-commerce sites and all of that. So always go to the browser and open the site. Social engineering, of course. You kind of follow the victim online and see what is their social activity, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all of these things. And then you bait them and get information from them. So this, I'm sure you would have heard a lot of instances of this kind of scam. Malware infections, of course, you must be familiar with it. There are so many different types of malware. Virus is the common name, but malware is the general name. So you have lots of malware, viruses, trojans, and keyboard loggers, and RATs, remote access tools. All of these are classified as malware. Then you have password theft. So there are tools available just to steal your passwords. So just some time back, I mentioned about going to banking websites. They'll give you something called a virtual keyboard. Why do you think typing your password using a virtual keyboard is safer? That is because there is a kind of malware that is called a keylogger. Hopefully, we may be seeing a demonstration a little bit later. I'm sorry. I have with me my colleague Satyan. He is from the academy. So he teaches students and corporate professionals about reverse engineering, malware, and stuff like that. So he's here to give us a demo a little later. Satyan, would you like to say hi? Sorry for the interruptions. Would you like to say hi?
Hi, everyone.
Hi. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So this password that I was talking about, so this keylogger, there is a malware called keylogger. Once it gets into your system, it is going to record all the keystrokes that you make on your keyboard, including your username and password. So once they have the username and password, you can say goodbye to your bank account or whatever it is, whatever credentials that they have stolen. So that is also a type of malware. Apart from that, there are also tools, commercial tools that are available that can crack passwords for you, rainbow tables, etc. Identity theft, again, this happens in the virtual world also, in the real world also. You might have seen in the movies where they take, they want to create a fake passport with, some other photo and things like that. The same thing happens in the virtual world also. You can just steal somebody's identity. But of course, see, in order to do all of this, patience is required, and cyber criminals have that patience. They have to put in that effort, they have to put in that time in order to gather all of the information, and then they choose the time and they bide their time and then they attack. Okay, so getting somebody's identity, various different things about the person will require a little bit of time and will require a lot of cleverness. And how do you approach the victim? What is information that you are interested in? Is it their Aadhaar number? Is it their phone number? Is it their email? Or how many children do they have? So is their password, is it their children's name followed by their date of birth, something like that. So you need to gather a lot of information and then you make the informed guesses and then try to crack stuff. Man in the middle attacks, again, this is a type of attack. What do you mean by that? So it is like somebody sitting in the middle. You're chatting with a friend, let's say Ram, and somebody is sitting, or somebody is getting all of the information that you're trying to send to Ram. They are trying to intercept the messages and they're changing the messages and they're sending it back to Ram. So what Ram is getting is not the message that you are sending. It is actually the message that has been modified by the man in the middle. So these are all very common occurrences in the enterprise segment. Not so much in the consumers, not so much for individual users, but definitely in the enterprise segment, you have these kind of threats. Okay, so who are these bad guys? So why do they do these kind of things? So blackmailers, fraudsters, state-sponsored hackers. All of us know about this. We have a lot of unfriendly states, neighboring unfriendly states. So these are state-sponsored attacks. The government of those countries sponsor or have their own hacking departments to create chaos in other countries. I mean, yeah, so that is state-sponsored attacks. This is happening, of course, you will know, with currently with Russia and Ukraine. So a lot of back and forth going on. So the war is not fought only in the battlefield these days, it is also fought online. So this country tries to sabotage the other countries, let's say the electrical grid or the water supply or whatever it is. Anything that can cause chaos in the other country. So again, this is being used. This is a cyber war. It's not a crime, actually. It is a war that is also possible, and it is currently also happening. Hacktivists, these are people who want to prove a point. They want to okay, somebody wants to save the dolphins and they want to prove a point, so they go and deface a government website or whatever it is, and then say, okay, you know what, you need to listen to us, or only if you listen I will release the site, and things like that. These are hacktivists. Script kiddies are people who are just learning, who want to experiment. For these are dangerous, actually. So actually a well written malware can cause a lot of damage. A poorly written malware, you just have no idea what kind of damage it can cause. It's kind of almost irretrievable damage. And then you have business insiders, people who want to sabotage. You have competitors, you want to get information from them, so you want to try to get their formula, their plan, or whatever it is. So again, so that is business insiders. Criminal organizations, of course. Now, believe it or not, these criminal organizations do exist. So as just like an organization, just like an enterprise, or just like a company that has various different departments, these organizations also have different members with different levels of capabilities. So criminal organizations with very talented programmers who can create a malware, and then you have another bunch who are very good at social engineering. So basically they craft messages, they craft emails, and they are good at following people on social media and getting information and all of that. And then you have other people who can provide credentials, stolen credentials and all of that. So these people form a group, and they share their expertise, so-called expertise, and then they just make an attack happen. So that's again very dangerous. You have a bunch of very talented people who get together and attack. Okay, PC malware. So how do you spot malware? Okay, this is becoming very difficult these days, as we discussed earlier. AI and ML are being used, and the kind of malware that you see these days are sophisticated malware. They're not the kind of malware that you used to see about 10, 15, 20 years earlier. It started with, joke programs, or a lot of pop-ups on your screen and things like that. But no, these days the malware is extremely sophisticated. They can do a lot of things. They can go undetected. In fact, a lot of these malware creators, they focus their energy on how do you avoid detection by various checks that are kept by the companies. How do you avoid being detected, and how do you get in? So again, that is an area of research for them. So yeah, some of the telltale signs of malware: double file extension. So you will see something called docx or exe or exe.docx. So you will think it is a document file, but basically it's a exe file. Multiple pop-ups. Yeah, some of these the old malware still have these things. You can see a lot of pop-ups. But new malware, as I said, very, very sophisticated. You will not even know that they are there. They will sit idle in the PC for a long, long time, and then suddenly there is some trigger that activates the malware, and it starts doing its job, whatever it is designed to do, whether it is stealing your personally identifiable information or password, or delete files and things like that. Redirection to unexpected web pages, yeah, that still happens. Excessive CPU resource, again, there are, crypto miners and stuff like that, where if it is installed on your system, it will use your system's resources for crypto mining. Excessive bandwidth consumption, of course, these days, it's kind of, all of us have fast internet connections, so that is, unless it's, huge amount of data that is being downloaded, I think all of us have pretty decent connections, very affordable connections. These internet companies have done a great job. So again, that is again, will hardly notice the bandwidth consumption. Okay, so you are being tracked anywhere and everywhere. So all of you would have experienced this kind of thing. So any website that you go to, it will ask you to sign in, it will ask you to create an account, it will ask you to sign in with Google account. So which means you don't have to put in your everything. All you have to do is put in your Google credentials, and then they know your Google account, they know your preferences. There are things called cookies that track your movement across websites, and they are called tracking cookies. They track your movement across websites, and this information is then sold to interested parties. Either the bad guys themselves use this information, or it is sold to interested parties. So for example, a company that is say manufacturing particular okay, let's say cars or whatever. So what is the interest of these customers? What are they interested in? What kind of cars are they interested in? What is the budget that they are interested in? What websites have they visited? Have they visited the second-hand car websites, things like that? So all of this information is very, very crucial for these big companies to make decision. So it's not just the big companies. What I mean to say is everybody is tracking everything to improve their own products. So so you need to be careful about what kind of information that you are sharing online, how much you want to share, and how many websites do you want to sign up. So if you do you want to buy from individual websites, or do you want to buy from an aggregator like like an Amazon or Flipkart or something. So all of these decisions, you'll have to think about all of these and then take your decisions. Yeah, so disposable email and disposable phone numbers, yes, disposable phone numbers are not very prevalent here, but in the West it is very prevalent. You can just buy disposable phones and then use it for whatever nefarious purposes and then discard them. Disposable email is also available here for everybody in the world. But there are a few difficulties in using disposable emails. Well, maybe we'll get to that a little later on, because it doesn't stay permanent. And then when some information needs to be sent to you, you need to be able to access it. And some of these websites that give you these free disposable emails, they limit the time to say 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, or whatever it is. After that, they need to release that to somebody else. So that's the problem with disposable email. Okay, so this is an example of phishing email. Again, official email address. See, there are small changes can be made to email address, but people may not notice it. So instead of O, they can put a 0, or instead of 0, they can put an O, and instead of S, it can be a 5, and things like that. Small changes, but the customer may not notice. And like I said, with HDFC Bank, there will be a sense of urgency in the email. We are updating our accounts. Within 24 hours, click on this link and update your username and password, just to know that you are still our customer, something like that. So there will be an urgency in the message. And when you click on that link, obviously it is going to take you to the fake website. So again, as I said, do not click on links on any email, even if it seems to be genuine. Always look at the email address from which you're receiving it. Is a generic. See, are you addressed in the email and stuff like that? Is your name there, or is there a general email and things like that? Okay, phishing over phone. Yes, that is also happening these days in India also. So people call you and get a lot of information. They ask you to invest in some scheme. They ask you to say download an app, or go to a website and register yourself, or they offer a job. All of these are happening online. Again, you will know that somebody calls you and they are asking you to take a decision urgently. Always be wary of these kind of conversation where somebody is forcing you to make a decision. It is, you are under no obligation to anybody to make any decision urgently, especially when it involves you doing something like lending money, or creating an account or downloading something, or if they want you to do something but they want to make it appear urgent, always hesitate. Again, the people that who are doing all of these kind of things, these phone calls things, they are actually pretty good at their job. They get extensive training. You would have heard a lot of news reports of these kind of scams going on. Some of these scams have been busted by the police in our country, in Mumbai, Delhi, elsewhere, even in the Northeast, even down south in Hyderabad, in Chennai. So people set up these fake call centers and try to scam, especially elderly people, and people who may not be, cyber aware of things. So they try to scam those peoples and get details. Again, this is LinkedIn phishing thing. So poor language. Okay, now these days poor language is not very much an indication that it may be a fake thing, because all you have to do is go to chat gpt and give your email, the email crafted by you, and say make it better, and then it will make it better for you. Again, urls, do not click on urls. That's that's one of the basic fundamental rules in cybersecurity. Do not click on links in emails or WhatsApp messages or whatever it is, wherever it is that you're getting it. Always go to the website, type in the name of the website, and then go to the, even blue dot tracking numbers. All of these people, you order things, you get left and right messages. Your thing has been shipped. Click here for tracking, and there is a link there. How do you know it takes you to the original Blue Dart website? So it's always safer to go to Blue Dart website and type in that waybill, that reference number or whatever number that they give you. Type in and get the information, because it may happen that sometimes you do. In fact, I have received a few messages like that. It may happen that the links there are not genuine links. Okay, hover your mouse to check the underlying URL. So always do that, or like I said, completely avoid clicking on that button. Always go to the website. And any website where you're going to enter your username and password, it has to be HTTPS, otherwise it's not safe, as you all know. And then verify the email addresses. Whether if you're getting an email address from anybody, or who wants you to update your accounts or transfer money or whatever it is that you're being asked to do, always verify once that it is the person, that the person is known to you. Multi-factor authentication is always a good thing. So it is fairly common. Even your Gmail has MFA, so you can set up MFA and make sure that there are other people don't have access to your email. So even if they manage to crack your password, they cannot get your Google Authenticator code or whatever it is. And we discussed very briefly about that deepfake thing, where the CEO orders the accounts department to release funds into a certain account. So always, this is mostly for enterprises. The accounts department always has to pick up the phone or approach the CEO in person and say, did you authorize this? Did you ask me to send it? So if it looks suspicious, or create a system where you always have a method of verifying whether it is coming from the genuine source. Password safety, as you all know, weak passwords are very, very bad for your cybersecurity health. So always create strong passwords, something that you can remember, something that has uppercase, lowercase. So stronger passwords take a longer time to crack. As I said, there are tools that are available. These are commercially available tools that can crack passwords. So the weaker your password is, the quicker the hacker, if they are determined to get your password, they can get it. So always a good idea. Yeah, so this, one moment. Yeah, back. Sorry about that. Okay, Wi-Fi hotspots. Why is Wi-Fi risky? As you all know, all of these restaurants, cafes, airports, train stations, all of us are offering free Wi-Fi. But when you're connecting to a public Wi-Fi, how do you know if it is a genuine Wi-Fi or not? It could be somebody who's setting up a hotspot just so that you will connect to that hotspot, to that Wi-Fi, and just if you manage to connect to that fake Wi-Fi hotspot, they can eavesdrop, they can overhear the conversations, they can track what you're doing online and things like that. So there again, they use a lot of tools. We are talking about artificial intelligence, so there are a lot of tools that are made for genuine purposes. Tools that can scan packets of information, tools that can scan network activity. All of these tools can be used by the bad guys also for nefarious purposes. So they can use these tools and find out which websites you are visiting, what is it that you are typing, who are you talking with. All of this information can be gathered. So always exercise caution when you're using public Wi-Fi, especially do not log into any banking websites, even e-commerce websites where you want to purchase something where you need to put your username and password. Try to avoid these kind of things in a public Wi-Fi. Always use a VPN. VPN is a very, very good idea. Always make sure that you subscribe to a good VPN service. Again, do not enter credentials. So, fake hotspots, what is it that they can do? As I said, apart from that, they can also send malware into your system, embed malware into your system, and that malware, as I can say, that can stay dormant for quite some time on your system, and it can be activated by some trigger that is inbuilt, and then it can cause havoc on your system. So the lesson that we learn is be wary of public Wi-Fi. Always make sure, even in train stations, airport, the government has set up free Wi-Fi, but make sure that you're connecting to that actual genuine thing that is offered by the airports authority or the train, the train station. So there are people who are pretending to be the airport authority, and they give you a free Wi-Fi. You'll have to be wary of getting into those Wi-Fi. USB drives. Again, something that has been extremely useful for all of us. Carry large amount of information in your drive. Very convenient, portable, and safe also. Small. Again, there are disadvantages also. It is small. It can get lost. Again, if you don't encrypt it, finders keepers. Anybody who finds that information on that USB drive, they keep it. Especially if it is, for customers, it may be personal information. For enterprises, it could be anything from their plans, from their financial reports or employee records or anything like that. So do not charge your phones in the public. So a lot of scam going on where they set up these stations, charging stations. And once you plug into those charging stations, anything can happen, including installing malware into your devices. It comes to the firmware. They alter the firmware, and they are able to monitor what you're doing. I mean, your connections, and they can even download malware into your phone and stuff like that. Unknown. Okay. This is again, this is called USB drop. What they do is, the criminals, they just get a new USB, copy whatever malware or whatever it is they want to copy in it, and then they leave these USBs in public places. So you happen to find a USB, you say, oh, somebody's dropped their USB, I can use this USB, I can go format this USB and I can use it. You bring that USB and without scanning that USB, you insert it into your system, and you probably, if there is a malware in that USB, it probably will infect your system. So again, these are all some dangers that you will have to be aware of with USB. So what you need to have is a very, very good anti-malware program, and you'll have to turn on auto scan. So anytime an external device is inserted into your system, you have to go opt in for the auto scan. It has to automatically scan. Until it finishes the scan, you are not allowed to access the data. There are settings that you can do. Always invest in a good anti-malware program. So that is an investment, like I say, that is for your peace of mind. Okay, so how do you protect your devices? So these are some of the ways. Always, when you are stepping away from your system, whether it is a laptop or a desktop, always make sure you lock the screen and go. Otherwise, anybody can come in and then use your email or whatever it is that is open at the time. Install all of the updates, software updates, everything, all of the applications that are installed on your laptop. Very, very important to keep your applications, including the operating system, updated, because it is possible for hackers or the bad guys to find vulnerabilities in older versions of applications that you're using, and they can exploit those vulnerabilities to get into your system or to steal information or whatever it is. So always make sure that you have the latest version of all software, whether it is your smartphone, whether it is your laptop or system, it doesn't matter. So make sure that you always have the latest updates. Backup your data, always have a backup. Again, for corporations or enterprises, it's always advised to have different kinds of backups and different places in which, not just online backups, but you need to have a backup, isolated backup that is completely disconnected from all network, because in case there is an attack and you need to, all the online backup is also affected, you can retrieve data from this offsite backup. Only install authorized application, especially true of smartphones. Turn off, there is a setting called install application from third-party sources. You have to turn it off. You should not install any application that you want to install. Should come via the Play Store, whether it is Android Play Store or the Apple Play Store. It has to come via the Play Store, because actually putting an application into the Play Store itself requires a lot of testing by both Google and by Apple. So there are rigorous rounds of testing that happen to see what is this application, what does this app do, and does it do what it says it will do, or is it deceiving customers? They run tests and all of that. So it is difficult to actually, not difficult, but it takes a little bit of time for you to make an app and get it into the Play Store. It is worth the effort, because you know that when you're downloading from the Play Store, even then, you can spot a lot of fake apps on the Play Store. So because there are inbuilt updates that can come through apps, and then they start their malicious activities after an update or things like that. So even with all of these checks, you can spot some fake apps available on the Google Play Store and the Apple Play Store also, unfortunately. Enable multi-factor authentication, always a good idea. Okay. So we have talked about AI models and ML and all of that. See, as fancy as it sounds, this also takes a lot of effort. The creating actually something fantastic like that, like ChatGPT, it took a long time, and you had very, very talented people to do that kind of thing. So you will have to train your AI model, basically, especially if you take, let's say, in security companies and all of that. When you're introducing that, AI thrives on data. The modeling requires the right kind of data. You need a lot of data, and the more the data that you feed into the system, the more it will adapt to what kind of things that are being asked of it, and it will behave accordingly. So you'll have to train your models and things like that. So there are, there are delays, and it's not so straightforward. So people who are looking to employ AI and ML into their enterprise environment, there is a little bit of complexity that you'll have to go through before it becomes, it makes your life easy. So that first phase is very important. So you'll have to keep that in mind, whether it is in your, let's say you're using ChatGPT or Copilot with Microsoft, or whether you're using a product that actually uses an AI or an ML model. There is a little bit of training that is involved. Again, personal information. Always hesitate before giving your personal information, whether it is a website, whether it is an app, or whether it is a software, whatever it is, always hesitate to give your personal information. See who is the manufacturer, is this actually required? Do I need to sign up to this site? So that you will have to take care of that. Deep fakes. Yes, again, as I said, the companies and people have to set up a process where they need to verify before transferring data or funds or whatever it is that they're being asked to do. There has to be a method. So these are all fundamentals of cybersecurity. So don't always believe what you see or believe what you hear. Always make sure there is a system in place where you can check. Personally identifiable information, that is PII. So share only if it is necessary. So you can't put your Aadhaar number in any website that is simply just asking. You want to go and download some music and it's asking you for your Aadhaar number. There's something really crazy. So always, these kind of important stuff, and even your birth date. So if you are using your birth year or date in your password, kindly remove it. Okay, so it's very easily guessable, your birth rate. How so hackers can actually guess your birth year and stuff like that. So for example, if somebody's name is Ram and their birth year is say 1985, so their password is Ram85. Okay. So, and then this Ram posts a message on social media saying, I'm celebrating, 25 years today or whatever it is. Then you know that this person was born 25 years before. So you will know the birth year, and then they know your name. So you just combine it together, and these are all easily guessable passwords. So please make sure that your passwords are strong. Again, your personal information, especially your government issued IDs, do not share unless it is a genuine website. Wipe devices before, whether it is a smartphone that you're exchanging to get a new smartphone, or whether it is a laptop that is broken, make sure that you wipe all the data. Okay. And limit sharing on social media. Again, that is very, very important. These are all, again, this comes under awareness. Okay. So people who are going on vacations, again, these are all things that have happened here. A family went on a vacation, they kept posting photos on, oh, we are here, we are there, we are all enjoying as a family and stuff like that. And a very enterprising thief actually had access to that media messages and decided there is nobody at home, let me go and steal something from their home. So this is actually a true story. You can find some news on the internet. So these kind of things happen. So whatever you're sharing on social media, make sure that you know what to share and when to share. Both of these are important. Okay, so this is about K7 as a company. We've been here for 32 years in this field. So in fact, when Mr. K7 founded this company 32 years back, even, a lot of these banks, Bank of India, all of these banks have used our software. Right from the days of the DOS operating system, we've been there. So we have seen the evolution of malware. We have also seen the
Sumit, Ashish, are you there? Sumit?
Yes, sir. There is some network problem from
Maybe the
KSML
network
side.
problem will be there. Yeah.
Yeah, there is some
Okay.
network
So
problem.
meanwhile,
Okay.
if ma'am join, I'll do the demonstration of how the malwares entering into your system, how that is
Yeah.
collecting your data.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
You continue, sir.
Continue. Please continue. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Just a minute. I'll be sharing my screen.
Now,
Okay. Is my screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
screen is visible, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, as ma'am said, the malware will come through the any kind of a phishing or the any social media link. Okay, the initially it will reach to the customer or the victim by the link. Okay, once the user clicking the link, it will start to download the exe files. Okay, then after you're clicking, it will start to execute in a background. It will 99% of the malware does not have a GUI user interface. Okay, it'll be running as a services like that. Okay, let me show you the demonstration of a keylogger. Keylogger, as ma'am said, it will start to record the keystrokes. What are the keys you're pressing in your keyboard? It will start to record. Okay, if you're doing for the banking website, if you're logging for the social media account, okay, it will start to record all the keystrokes. In order to capture this, what is happening, I'll be using the tool called the process monitor. This tool helps to record the what are the changes happening in your systems. Okay, it may be a file writing, file deleting, or any process started executions. Okay, it will start to record. Now I'm going to click to start the malwares. You can able to see once I click this, it will start to capture the data. But this malware does not have any GUI users. Okay, but only thing is it will start to record all the keystrokes. If I maximize this, you can able to see here there is a write file. Okay, so write file means it is going to write some data in a particular locations. Okay, if you see this location, you can see the cmd.html. So most of the people, if they find out this also, the CMD means they'll be thinking about it's a command prompt. Or if they have some little bit knowledge of the website, it is a .html. I mean, they will start to think it is a web page content. But it is not a web page or a command prompt. It is a text document. Okay, it will collect all the keystrokes which you're pressing in your keyboards. I'm going to this location. So I'm just copying this, going for my computer. So 99% of the user does not do what is happening. Okay, because once you're clicking the exe file, it will start to record what are the things you're doing. For an example, if you are going for a Facebook or any banking website, in case you are going for the banking website, net banking or ICICI. Otherwise, I'm going for the google.com or any websites. Okay. So this file is I'm trying to open with the notepad. You can see here. So earlier I was copied the facebook.com and then I copied the location of the which this file is creating, right? Then entered into the Facebook. You can also here check here. It is a Google Chrome. So which application you're using, which content you are typing, okay? It will start to record. In case you are typing your username and password, it will start to record. It will send it to the attackers, okay? They can easily steal your credentials. Okay, they try to log in your accounts if you are not using a two-factor authentication, okay? Or otherwise, that's why only the ma'am said no. So whenever you are using in a financial transaction, you have to use the virtual keyboards. So the virtual keyboard, the attacker is not able to record the what are the actions you are doing. Okay, this is the one examples. Okay, the same thing, or what the attackers will do is they will connect to your network, okay, either through Wi-Fi or the LAN network. They'll send you some phishing links, or they'll make us a legitimate websites like a Facebook or a they can create like a Facebook web page or a net banking websites. It look like a similar pages. Okay, I'm having a little bit of a internet connection low. Okay, you can see here I'm able to enter the username and password. I'm just entering the username. So yes, satyan@gmail.com, and then I'm typing the password. Password 123456. Okay. So once I click it, it will refresh the page. It will take you to the actual Facebook page. Okay. So people will think this is not by mistakenly we enter some password error or something will happen. So again, they start to enter the password. They'll get into this accounts. Okay. But in case if an attackers, okay, they are connected with your network, they can able to easily steal your username and passwords. You can able to see here, right? This is a tool, okay, which can able to collect your username and password. Okay. Attackers no need to be the professional programmer or well experienced in the technologies. Okay. They have to be able to understand what are the tools is readily available, how to use it. If they understand, that can easily create an attacks. Okay. The same like that, the data, this is a attack tool which can able to capture the password and usernames. And one more case, if you are using a general Wireshark. So the Wireshark, which is a tool which is collect all the network traffics. So okay, if what are the website you are connecting, everything will be recorded in a Wireshark. Through this also, we can able to find out the what are the username and password also. Okay, if they are sent it as a look like a legitimate applications, you can able to see here, right? So the email ID and passwords. So all the data will be collected and recorded, and they can be able to steal your credentials. This is the one or two type of attacks. Okay. My one more suggestion is I wanted to give us whenever you are getting a link to any social media. Okay, so don't click the link. You directly go to the browser. Okay, for the demonstration purpose, I'll be using a virtual machine. Virus total. So this is a website which help you to detect at least 60 to 70% of the attacks phishing links. Okay, what are the data? Okay, just or in the Google you directly type virus total. Okay, so if you're downloading from any third-party application, also you can upload this data into this virus total. You can able to check whether the your download is legitimate or not, or if it is the file is containing any virus or malwares. Okay. So my internet is a little bit slow. Just taking time. Just a minute. Okay. So this is the virus total web page. This will help you to prevent from you to whenever you're getting any link. Okay, when you're link, you just copy the link. You can just paste it here. Right now I'm using a facebook.com. If any of the security vendors marked with the red color, okay, don't click that link. Don't use the link or don't forward to anyone. Okay. You can see here once I checked with the internet, the virus total, everything is marked as a clean. Okay. Any security vendors, if you're marking as a red color, don't click on any links. Okay. Or in case you're downloading some files, you can be able to upload up to 500 MB of the files. I think so. You can upload the file. You can able to check whether the file is so you can able to scan it. Okay, but my suggestion is don't click any of the third parties application whenever you're using a mobile phone. The attackers may send you some attractive offers if you are using a Geo, right? So Geo will offer you for 3 months of a high speed internet. For that, you need to click and install the Geo application. this, if you're clicking, if you're allowing, it will ask you to allow the third-party application. If you're enabling, then it will start to record all the details. It may be a screen recorder, a ransomware, anything will be happens. Okay. So don't install any third-party application. Whenever you are downloading any application, go to the Play Store and App Stores in an Apple iPhone. Okay, that help you to prevent from the attacks. So this is the demos which you need to show there. If you have any doubts, you can able to ask now.
Satyan, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, no.
Okay.
Yes, you are audible now.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think there was a brief disconnection.
No issue. Continue.
अरे माइक बंद है अपना
Yeah.
नहीं ऑन किया तो अभी मैडम को ही कर
Sharing stop to
please stop your sharing so that madam can share also.
Okay.
One moment. Can you see the screen?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we were just talking about the history of K7. So I was just briefly telling you that this company has seen the rise of malware, the sophistication of malware. We have also seen the rise in sophistication of the anti-malware solutions. So earlier when we started, we only had something called antivirus. Okay, still people call it antivirus, but it's not just antivirus anymore, as we all know now. That virus is only a type of malware. So there are so many other types of malware, like we said, worms, trojans, ransomware, keyloggers, which you just saw a demo of. All of these are termed as malware. So now it is anti-malware and not just one antivirus program. So, but you have to design programs that are going to work with consumers, individual consumers like parents, students, and stuff. That product will have a slightly different design. When you come to enterprises, it will have a completely different design. So it will have a server client architecture. That is, the administrator will have full visibility of what is happening in the company. They need to run a scan, they need to search for a file, they need to block an application on an end user's system. So all of this can be done using an enterprise security product. So the industry has now evolved, and there is a clear demarcation between the consumer range of security products and the enterprise range of security products. A lot more products for the enterprise range. For the consumer range, there are now a lot of people coming up with solutions for frauds and scams. So I think many of you at Mumbai would have come across this this scam where they'll say that FedEx scam. Yeah. So they call you and say that one of your consignment is stuck at customs. It has some illegal thing, and you have to have. Has anybody got this call? Anybody? I'm just interested to know if somebody from the science center there has received this kind of call. Okay, I am not getting an answer, so I'm assuming so you have not got the call. So what they do is they call you and say that we are from FedEx. No, you would actually get a call and say that your consignment is supposed to reach you is stuck at customs because it contained illegal. And then they say that you'll have to meet this police person, or you'll have to pay this money and stuff like that. It's an elaborate scam, basically. So now there are, they're coming up with solutions for these kind of scams and frauds also. This is very difficult to design a solution for this, because what is going to help most is awareness, right? So you need to be aware that people are trying to trick you into giving up your money or your data. So you need to be very wary of that again. So I was saying that you have two different industry segments in cybersecurity. One is the enterprise segment, one is the consumer segment. Enterprise segments has a lot of products. So including the gateway firewall in the company, or the endpoint security, or see, these are all terms for different complexities that a product can have in order to protect the enterprise. So different capabilities and complexities. So it can detect malware, it can take an action, it can isolate a system, it can give you a full-fledged report, it can track the history of how that malware came in. So all of these are possible using a lot of these solutions in the market. So K7 is into both consumer and the enterprise segment. We have products for the consumers, we have products for the enterprise also, including endpoint and EDR, and we also have a UTM, that is a gateway firewall. So all of these products are from K7. So we are a small team, so we do a lot of multitasking, but there's a lot of expertise behind what we do. There's a lot of automation that is involved. You might not believe it, but every day we see an influx of about 4 to 5 lakhs of new malware every day. So there has to be some kind of automation to deal with all of this, to process that information, to release updates to our customers, so that people who are using our products are kept safe. So we use AI and ML. Some of the features in the products are powered by these technologies in order to detect anomalies, any abnormal behavior and stuff like that, and they are designed to detect and block them. So again, technology. So we'll have to make the best use of technology to counter, the bad guys who are also making use of the same technology to create havoc. So that's it about us, and that's it from my end. So unless you have some questions for us.
All the participants are requested to clarify their doubts. If they have any questions, they can ask here directly, because madam is online.
Hello.
Sir, Dhanashri wants to ask one question. Dhanashri from Nehru Science Center.
Hello, Rathna ma'am. Dhanashri this side. Actually, if possible, can you go back to the slide where it was a email from the LinkedIn?
Yes, it is possible. Hold on 1 minute. I just stop sharing the screen.
I have a question on that.
Yeah, sure. Is this the one?
Yes. So here, if we see the link, it has a HTTPS.
Mm-hmm.
It has a, yeah. So even links having HTTPS are risky.
Absolutely, Dhanashri. That is what I'm trying to say, that these hackers and the bad guys, you make the best use of technology. Okay. So again, like I said, it is not just they are able to create an HTTPS site, but it's a fake site, right? It's possible for anybody to create a site, right? So all you have to do is get certificates and stuff like that, and they are able to do that, or they are able to piggyback on some other certificate got by some other company. So there are actually tools, there are ways to make these kind of things happen, Dhanashri, unfortunately, which is why the first fundamental rule is do not click on the link. It doesn't matter whether it says HTTPS or HTTP. Any link in the mail, kindly avoid.
Okay. Yeah. Clear. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else has any other question?
From other centers, Dharampur or Nagpur, Bhopal. Dharampur.
Okay. Mic unmute.
Hello. Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Gayatri this side from District Science Center, Dharampur.
Hi, Gayatri.
So, I was having one question that how would I know that if my device has been hacked, or is there any system that has been running backside of my phone or else my system? So, is there any website through which I can know that is my device been hacked, or any phishing system has been going backside?
Okay, Gayatri. So the answer for your question is you need to invest in a security product. Okay, they are available for mobile phones. They are available for desktops and laptops also. Any good product, you can just Google them as an antivirus product or an anti-malware product. If you are a single user, then you have to go in for the consumer version. So even for mobile, if you go into the Play Store, there are a lot of people offering products, including K7 Mobile Security.
Yes.
You have Bitdefender, you have Kaspersky. So all of these people are offering products. So these products have features inbuilt in them. So they will be able to detect a phishing link, Gayatri. So if you are by mistake clicking on a phishing link, it will block or disallow access. It will not allow you to access that link. So even in
Like
the
it will
case
be
when
linked with our phone or else with the apps that will be installed later on in our phone or in our system.
no, it doesn't monitor the apps. As I said, in order to make sure that you're getting some kind of a genuine app, you will have to download from the Google Play Store only, not from any other third party source. But once you download a security product app into your phone, it will monitor it. If you're clicking on a link, it will monitor. If it thinks it is suspicious, it will not allow you to go to that link. And it will scan any file that you're receiving and you're trying to open on the phone. It will scan it. If it thinks it is malicious, it will block it.
Okay.
So it's important for you, whether it is your phone or whether it is your antivirus product, you will have to have good security solutions.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
May I have one question, Sumit?
Yes, sure.
Please, sir.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you so much for your very informative talk. Ma'am, these days, as we all know, two-factor authentication has become very critical part for making our, online transaction more safe or our login credentials. How do you see that, like a Microsoft Authenticator or Google Authenticator, both are safe methods as of now, if we have two-factor authentication on in our online services?
Yes, both are safe, sir. Both are safe. A lot of enterprises are also making use of this as 2FA is part of mandatory for a lot of enterprises. So yes, they are quite safe. You may use them.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
How can we find which website are using our Aadhaar card details and save password, etc.?
Excellent question. All right. Now, every browser will have an option where it will ask you whether you want to save your password or clear your password and stuff like that. I am not sure if the government is currently giving you an option where you can find out which sites are holding your Aadhaar number. I don't think it does, but that will in fact is actually a good business idea, sir, whatever you gave. So I don't know if already somebody is doing that. But it is difficult because you will need access to the UIADI database and that. So only the government can do. Who are the people who have access to the Aadhaar? Of course, government has said can get Aadhaar information from customers, provided you are suing them with in these conditions. So it is given some stipulations on how to store the Aadhaar information and keep that information. So customers who want to collect or companies that who want to collect that Aadhaar information have to comply with these rules. For example, banking websites, they are all regulated by RBI guidelines. RBI has very strict guidelines on how banks must protect personal information of the customers. They cover everything, sir, right from holding your data, backups, You need to do security audits in the banks. There is a mandatory audit that needs to happen every year. RBI, and you need to submit the report to RBI, and you have to have VA and PT done in banks in a regular interval to see that their systems are safe. You need to have different kinds of backups, one completely offline backup, and you have to have online backup. All data must reside in India. It should not be stored outside of India. You need to employ security measures, including perimeter firewalls, endpoint security, EDRs, XDR, and you need to have experts on standby if there is a cyber security incident. You need to close these incidents within this time. So the RBI has very strict guidelines on that. So to answer directly to your question, I am not very sure that there are tools or companies that can give information about which sites use your Aadhaar number. I don't think that exists as of now. But one thing that we can do is we'll have to limit sharing our personal information on any site. So as I said, if there is a music company from where you just want to download music and that company asks you for Aadhaar information, it is something fishy. You should not be giving your Aadhaar information there. You want to open a bank account, they're asking for Aadhaar, that is fine. You want to apply for passport, they're asking for Aadhaar, that is fine. So these kind of things we'll have to be aware, number one. Number two, there are small things that we can do, sir, on the browser that you're using. I always use non-native browser. For example, if I'm using a Microsoft Windows, this is my personal choice. If I use Microsoft Windows, I use a Chrome or a Firefox browser. And in Firefox, I always make sure that I get into private browsing. There is something called private browsing, incognito mode, right? So in incognito mode, it doesn't allow tracking, cookies, and so on. So the browser itself, which is itself an application, has some inbuilt security. So in incognito mode, you will not be tracked. And especially when I'm visiting banking websites, I always use the incognito mode, number one. Number two, I always use the virtual keyboard. And in browser, you can make sure that you do not save any passwords, especially if you're sharing your system with somebody else. Do not store your passwords in the browser. You might have noticed every time you go to a new site and you enter a username and password, it will ask you, do you want to save information for this site? I never save information. I always remember old school method. So you can write it down somewhere and keep it safe or whatever works for you, sir. Different people have different preferences. You can, whatever works for you is fine.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir, I need to add one more. In an Aadhaar UIDA website, you can able to track where are the Aadhaar details are used. The past 6 months of history you can able to track.
So the government is giving that information.
Government,
okay.
yeah.
Hello, madam. Hello, madam. Rathna, madam. I am Piangshuk from Nehru Science Center, Mumbai.
Hello, sir.
Madam, since we are talking about the cybersecurity, one thing I would like to add from my learning and knowledge from my college days, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, the thing is that the first and foremost mistake that we all make, most of us make, while using a mobile phone or a desktop device or a laptop is that we always keep on our location services on. So if we keep our location services on all the day, most of our mobile phones have the internet connectivity on and the location services on for the entire day. And you were talking about the digital footprint. So in order to reduce the digital footprint, we need to turn off the location services once we are not using a certain app. And also there is an option where we can set the preference into that only use my location while the app is in use. So if that is done, I think a lot of safety measures can be taken. Like we can enhance the safety of all the users. One is that. And then the other one that you talked about, if we use the websites in the incognito mode, then a lot of our information gets prevented from being leaked out.
Absolutely agree with you. So the location thing by default, if you notice in some brands of phones, it is always on by default. So it is up to us to go and change the settings. In fact, in the phones, there are a lot of settings as to who can use your mic, who can use your camera, and who can have access to your location, who can have access to your contact list, who can have access to your data, photos, and all of that. So there is a provision that has to be provided by Android, that is Google. You can find out which apps are using your location, which apps are using your camera, which apps have access to your microphone, and so on. It is important for each of us individually to be aware of these settings. Go there, look, turn it off. Yes, you will have to do that. This location thing, as you said, a lot of youngsters, they have their locations turned on. So Google has complete control of where you're going. It has complete knowledge of where you're going. So if you're visiting a restaurant, it will ask you, do you want to review this restaurant? You are already logged into a Google account and the location is turned on. Yeah.
And most importantly, ma'am, when the location service is on, you will see that you visit one website and next you open the YouTube. Your YouTube will constantly get ads related to that product. So, so those are all interlinked. So, if we turn off our location service once we are done, then I think a lot of information gets saved from being shared with unauthorized people.
Yes, definitely. Also, make sure that you go to your Android settings and see who else has access to your contact list, photos, microphone, camera, and stuff.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. I'm Gafur Sheikh from Nehru Science Center.
Hello, sir.
While we download any app from Play Store, there are at least 5-6 things we have to allow unnecessarily. Photographs to be allowed, context to be allowed. Why that questions? If we don't allow, then the app doesn't get open.
Yeah, so that is what I was talking about. Yes, you're absolutely right, sir. So first of all, we need to be aware of what are the apps that we are downloading. Is it that app really necessary? Do we need that app? Okay. Secondly, why, if it is let's say if it is a music app, why does it require access to my camera? It should not require access to my camera, right? Yeah. So it is up to us to make sure if there are apps that are behaving strangely, they're asking you, I will not function unless you give me this permission. We will have to choose another app instead. So there are multiple choices available for us to do the same. For example, whether it is music or videos or knowledge or news, we have multiple choices available. So we will have to go with, again, when you're downloading apps from the Play Store, always make sure that you download apps that are used widely by a lot of people, not some obscure app. So these obscure apps are the ones that are kind of, it'll take some time for them to evolve, even if they're from a reputed company. So we'll have to be wary of that. If there are 1 billion people who are using that particular app, then I don't think we should have any hesitation, because you know that there is a trusted company. All of these people are using that company, is investing money and resources into looking into and fixing bugs in the app, if any. So it has to come from a good reputed company. So that is why apps charge you. You see, you need that money to invest in people to look into bugs and resolve those bugs. So apps that are free, again, that is one more point I wanted to make. Be wary of anything that is given to you for free. Okay, there is, as we all know, there is no such thing called a free lunch. If there is an app that is being given to you for free, be aware that it will try to take something from you, whether it is your complete contact list and it will send a link to everybody in your contact list saying, download this app, or data, or whatever it is. So you have to be wary of anything that is free, because there is no such thing called a free lunch. This data can be sold to any interested third party company.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
One more question. About a year back in Kolkata, there were cases of money being withdrawn from the bank account by through a Aadhaar number of persons. And there was police advisory also. We should not share, or we should keep the Aadhaar number locked, biometric locked. And but now, we being in government sector, we are required to every day punch in and punch out through our biometric, Aadhaar enabled biometrics. So we are actually unable to keep our Aadhaar number blocked or locked. So how do we go about this?
That is actually a difficult question, sir. In fact, if you notice, a lot of these phones provide fingerprinting as part of their password. It can be a face ID or a fingerprint and all of that. So these companies actually have access to our fingerprints, sir. Do you think this kind of thing would have happened about 25 years back? Nobody can have our fingerprints unless we go to the police, or they want our fingerprint, or the government for the passport, or whatever it is. Even the US, quite some time back, they started with biometrics. They require all our information, including our fingerprints and stuff. So basically, they know everything about us. So in some places, I'm afraid it is inevitable. So if you want to get a US visa, you have to go through the biometric tests, including your fingerprinting. They collect everything about you. But yeah, in government agencies, when you for security sakes and for easy identification, again, this basically having something like an Aadhaar number to authenticate who you are basically makes a lot of things easier. Actually, it may also pose some security risks, but then it is up to the government to make sure that there are proper checks in place. See, for example, if you are a government employee and you are required to fingerprint your way into work every morning, so you don't need to do anything. So basically, only your fingerprint can only be with you, hopefully. And you can, once you get in, people will know that you are there in the office. Again, you are safe inside the office. And your leaves, your days of work, everything can be calculated. It becomes, there is a whole system that is arranged behind this. It makes things very easy for you. You don't have to say, okay, I was in office, I was not in office. You don't need to bring proof or anything. So basically, the system is designed to make a lot of things easy, to compute your pay, your leave, your experience, or whatever it is. But then again, as always, when there is a good side, there is also always a bad side to it. Two faces of the coin. So I'm afraid there may be some security risk, but I think the government of India is doing a fabulous job. It is keeping our information. In spite of all, the accusations, I think they have, imagine holding information of 1 billion people and keeping it safe. And also, like Satyan mentioned, I was not aware of this. It allows you to see where your Aadhaar has been used and so on. And in fact, when you actually open a bank account or anything which requires a Aadhaar number, you will get an information saying that this company is asking access to your Aadhaar information. It will ask you to allow it. In fact, you get those kind of messages also. So again, there are, things are evolving on the security side also. I am sure there will be a little bit of, as they say in the metro work, right? A little inconvenience today for a better tomorrow. I think this is also going to be that kind of thing. So the security aspect is evolving, and I'm sure it will become much, much better in the future.
Yes, hopefully. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to ask something?
चैट में एक क्वेश्चन आया है मिस पारुल सक्सेना का. व्हाट इफ वन हैज ऑलरेडी क्लिक्ड, do you want to save your password? So basically she is asking about the browser cache, that we saves a lot of password, banking passwords, Facebook passwords, social media passwords. So madam,
yes, yeah, so you can clear the cache. No, you can go to the browser settings. This is what I was talking about earlier. Go to the browser settings and it can clear the cache for you. See, if you are fairly certain that your system will not be used, again, as I said, these are all things that have been made for our convenience. Instead of typing the username and password in every single time, it gives you an option to save the username and password. But always be wary. If your system is being used only by you, if your laptop is used only by you, nobody else has access for it, it makes your life easier to save the username and password. If you are somebody who needs to go into Amazon every 2 days and order something, or some other website every 2 days you need to go to your banking website, your job involves that, it makes sense to actually store your username and password. But make sure that your browser is a reputed one, and make sure that you follow the principles of password, that is base password security. Keep changing your password. Do not repeat your password. In fact, there was a nice slogan given by our team there: your password is not food, do not share with anybody, do not recycle password, do not reuse password, and things like that. So if you are not using on an everyday basis or a regular basis, please clear the cache. At least I don't save my username and password. But if you are somebody for work or for other reasons, you need to log into certain sites every single day, put your username and password, it makes sense to save it. But just at least go and see for what sites you have saved that information. At least that you should be aware of. And make sure that your browser is always updated, please.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other question from any participants? So we are not getting any further questions. So, madam, so now can we come to a conclusion for this session?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so madam, first of all, thanks to you a lot. I personally am thanking you because actually you took me back to the college days, back in the 2018 when I used to study this network security and cryptography. And basically you explained all the topics from the active and passive attacks, the conventional attacks, phishing attack, the man in the middle attack. And you also explained very well the current AI approaches that the hackers are taking, use of deep fake. You explained the free Wi-Fi. We always have seen this issue. Free Wi-Fi and hotspots are available in a lots of zones. And you also taught about the password policies. So very important things you have focused in a very simple and lucid manner. Actually, you have taught the basic principles about how a web user should keep himself safe from the conventional attacks and from the AI-based current attacks also. And based on your discussion actually, and I request each of the participant to follow the guidelines that were prescribed from your end. And I found that many questions also came, so participants were very eager to know about this web security related issues, the web security vulnerabilities and the threats. And I was very happy. We, Nehru Science Center, are very happy that there was so much active participation, so much active engagement, so much of questions, answers, doubts, and all the doubts were cleared from your end. So thanks a lot for conducting this session. And since this is the Cybersecurity Awareness Month, we hope to work again and conduct further sessions on this program in future also. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you a lot. And I would like to request Director Sir to speak to give a briefing to this webinar and conclude the session. So thank you, sir.
You want me to say something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please conclude.
I think you already thanks everyone, and especially to the speakers for giving us wonderful insight about this very special topic, I should say, which we all need to know more and more every day. More and more every day. So I hope we are all enriched, and we'll try to implement whatever we have learned and we'll be aware further so that nobody can make us fool. For we can avoid this kind of cyber fraud and make aware others also our experience sharing. Sometimes when we become fool, you can say we think we will not share with that, but these kind of things can be shared with others so that they get benefit out of it. So thank you all for joining us and sparing time. Big thank you. I think we can conclude with this. Thank you, ma'am, also, ma'am and Satya. Both of you also very special thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Umesh Kumar, and thank you for all of the science people. They're very happy to interact with all of you and very happy with all of the questions also. Thank you.
Thank you all the participants. Goodbye. We will see you again and we will conduct more programs in this month. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all the participants. Goodbye.